Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Nketiah's move to Nottingham Forest has broken down. Crystal Palace have offered him a new deal. However, there are no club-to-club negotiations. It is just about that. We're going to talk about Mikel Merino. He's completed his medicals and contracts should be signed tomorrow. He's expected to be an Arsenal player very, very soon. Definitely, he's an Arsenal player. It's just about getting the contracts and media duties done. But also, Mikel today, importantly, has said something about transfers, and he says he wants a 23-man squad. At the moment, we are short in some areas. We don't have 23 players in our squad, and therefore things are going to be happening by the end of the window. Listen, I don't know, we have 7 days, maybe even less than that, for us to get deals done. Am I confident that we'll get deals done? 100% not. Am I, skeptical? Yes, and I think I'm very, very right to be skeptical. But we're going to talk about that. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. This video is brought to you by our friends at KiwiBet. I am a proud ambassador of KiwiBet, and they've brought you the best offers, especially on Premier League games. But also, you can bet on the Italian Serie A, French League 1, Spanish La Liga, Portuguese, Premier La Liga as well, and you can win money. Their deposits are very quick, their withdrawals are very quick as well, and you can withdraw up to 5 million at once. So that is how easy it is with KiwiBet. Make sure you bet with the best and most reliable betting partner. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Mikel Merino. He has completed his medicals, with Fabrizio Romano confirming that Mikel Merino has completed his medicals as a new Arsenal player, with clubs exchanging documents, deal being signed. 32 million euros fixed fee plus 5 in add-ons, and a contract until June 2028 plus an option for a further year. That is what Mikel Merino is going to be signing at Arsenal. Now, with Mikel Arteta, I'll tell you, Mikel has gambled for a number 8 for a long time. And I think part of it is because he wants to do something different on the left-hand side as compared to what we're doing on the right-hand side. So you look at the right-hand side and the triangles and the magic that we create through Ben White, Saka, and Odegaard. It's purely It's purely creative. Saka scores a lot of goals as well, but it's purely creative. White looks to create, Odegaard looks to create as well, and Saka looks to create as well. So on the left-hand side, Mikel Arteta had hoped that we would get a lot of goals on the left-hand side, in Trossard, in Martinelli, in Kai Havertz as well. And that's why the Fabio Vieira signing doesn't make a lot of sense. He had brought him in as a left-sided midfielder, as a left-sided number 8. That actually didn't work. But is Mikel Merino going to be the redemption for Mikel Arteta? He spent some cash ever since selling Xhaka on that position, and it hasn't worked out yet. We brought in Fabio Vieira, 35 million. That didn't work out. We brought in Kai Havertz, 65 million. That didn't work out as well. So could Mikel Merino be the player that is going to give Mikel Arteta that missing element, that X factor in the midfield that he's looking for? Well, potentially yes, potentially no. Now, why I'm saying no is I don't see him as a heavy goal scorer. I actually see him as a heavy, duel winner. He's one of the players in Europe that are winning above, 280 duels in a game, in a season, and that tells you the quality he's got, and that tells you how confident he is in terms of winning the ball back. But I still feel Mikel Arteta is looking for that dedicated Frank Lampard. He's looking for that dedicated player who's going to be arriving in the penalty area a little bit later on and scoring goals. Now, he had got that in Kai Havertz, but the problem is that Kai literally doesn't do any other thing in the midfield. When you place him in the midfield, you can have him crawl into the box, occupy space, navigate space, and score goals. But as a midfielder, he's practically useless. I'm not saying he's useless. I'm trying to say that in midfield, it doesn't work. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So Kai Havertz didn't work. Will Mikel Merino work? Well, he's a midfielder. We've seen him for Spain. He wins a lot of headers as well. So probably he's one player that can allow Mikel Arteta change, systems and change tactics within the same game by bringing on a player like Mikel Merino. If you want to go long, for example, the Aston Villa game we played this weekend was a massive example of Arsenal needs something different. Arsenal need to do something different. playing out from the back and passing from the back. That works when you're playing a club like Wolves that has a very, very poor, PPDA. I mean, you take many touches before they can press. But when you look at a club like Aston Villa, they're aggressive and they don't get tired. So it means that you can't play out from the back comfortably. You've got to find another route to go. And that could be the height and physicality of a player like Mikel Merino. So medicals are done. He comes in as the third number 8 on the left-hand side that Mikel Arteta has signed, but also the fifth we are going to use in the team. We have used Xhaka before, we have used Rice before, we have used actually Nwaneri before as well. He's played there, especially in preseason. Kai Havertz has played there as well, and Emil Smith-Rowe. So there's so many reasons why Mikel Merino comes in, but for me, the main one and the main important one is Mikel is looking for a permanent player who can sit in that position and then allow Declan Rice to sit at the base of the midfield. I will do a video about my expectations of Mikel Merino, but at the moment, I expect him to provide that quality cover across the midfield. Left 8, right 8, and defensive midfield. I mean, if he's winning such duels per 90, then he can sit at the base of the midfield. He can spray passes, we know that. He can, he can carry the ball as well. And then winning the ball is not his big problem. But we have a problem. I mean, not Mikel Merino, trust me. The problem is with Eddie Nketiah. And Eddie Nketiah, let's start here. His proposed move to Nottingham Forest has broken down. The deal was in place between Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, worth up to £30 million. Jesus Christ. But agreement between the club and the 25-year-old striker actually broke down. It wasn't closed. Transfer is still expected to materialize elsewhere before the window closes. So Eddie Nketiah has refused to go to Nottingham Forest. David Ornstein, still just in a few seconds ago, he says Crystal Palace are considering a move to sign Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal. 25-year-old did not proceed with Nottingham Forest switch despite Nottingham Forest and Arsenal agreeing a deal up to £30 million. Now, Crystal Palace are looking into a deal, having previously held talks with Arsenal and Eddie Nketiah, as reported by Bobby Manzi from The Athletic. Okay, I've told you before, Eddie Nketiah previously held the keys to Arsenal signing a new striker. Right now, it's a little bit, it's uncertain. It's really, really uncertain. I cannot sit here on this podcast and say, listen, Eddie Nketiah leaves and we sign a striker. There is a big chance that Eddie Nketiah leaves and Arsenal, foolishly or wisely, I don't think it would be wise, don't sign a striker. But I think the expectation is still that Eddie will leave. And I think it is Crystal Palace. I told you in May, I can see him in that weird jersey of Crystal Palace that they don't they don't change every single season. It looks the same. I mean, last season it was a little bit different, but this season they're back to basics. The reason as to why I think he's rejected Nottingham Forest, it is the project. Honestly, I think Forest have money. I think they're going to go down. And I think if you're Eddie Nketiah and you're smart, you don't sign for Nottingham Forest. And I'm not even mad at Nketiah. I tell you, the problem was with Arsenal. These deals should have been agreed a little bit earlier on. June, July. There you can afford to have a player, refuse to go to another club. But right now, you agree a £30 million deal, and Nottingham Forest are making, another bid, €33 million for Jimenez. It's a mess, trust me. But how do we get out of this one? I think he's looked at the offer Nottingham Forest are giving him and their project, and he's looked at Oliver Glasner and the project at Crystal Palace, and he's also looked at the offer they're giving him, and he's like, I'm going to go Crystal Palace. Palace if I was signing for a club right now, mid-table club, it would be Palace, it would be Fulham. Now, the thing with Palace is they've got that, I would say, inexhaustible security of being in the Premier League, of being a Premier League team. They're not going to go away. Palace don't even flirt with relegation. That is how good they are. I don't know how they do it every single season, but they don't even flirt with relegation. So I think Nketiah will go to Palace. Let's see. They're looking at a loan deal with an obligation to buy. And this is where Arsenal end up being the losers. This is where we end up being the losers. We had Marseille giving us 27 million euros. We turned it down. We had Nottingham Forest giving us 30 million pounds. Much better deal. The player doesn't want to go there. And then now we have a third choice in Crystal Palace saying, we will give you some 25 million pounds, not 30, and we're going to take him for a whole season without paying you any single coin. Do you have a problem with that? And at the moment, honestly, we cannot have a problem with that. Actually, what worries me is that he's not a priority for Oliver Glasner. He is one of the options that Crystal Palace are looking at. So the moment Arsenal we are not sure, Palace are going to move on and get another club. So I won't be surprised to see Eddie move for around 25 million pounds because of the timing of the deal. But for me, this one is no longer that important, as it looks like even if he leaves, a striker has been given up on. At least that is what Mikel Arteta's words teach us when he says we have strikers that we trust. We don't need one from the market. Now, Mikel Arteta as manager has been talking about our business, and however much I'm disappointed, I wanted to react to this. So he says, we are a little bit short. If we can do something, we will do it. We need quality. We need good availability from everybody. We don't have 23 outfield players, and normally you have to be equipped like that. That is Mikel Arteta about Arsenal getting some deals done. We need 23 outfield players. We don't have that. And he says we are a little bit short. If we can do something, we will do it. Two keywords. We need 23 outfield players. We don't have them. Secondly, we are short. The rest don't matter. You cannot tell me that for 3 months, you are going to give us an excuse of, if we can do something, we will do it. No, not me on this podcast. I am not buying into that. The one thing Arsenal have got to understand, and Mikel Arteta and Edu and everyone, the team we are chasing, the club that we are chasing is an immovable object. I looked at them cut Ipswich Town piece by piece, 4-1. They cut them piece by piece. And Erling Haaland, like a usual day in office, Erling Haaland has scored 4 goals this season. Arsenal as a club have scored 4 goals this season. Make of that information whatever you wish. But my problem is you can't chase City, and you can't close the gap between you and City by you slowing down. If Man City are slowing down, you've got to quicken up the pace. If Man City quicken up the pace, you've got to double the standards. Mark my words, if the window ends with Ricardo Calafiori and Mikel Merino and a bunch of young goalkeepers coming in, Tommy Setford and Lucas Nigard, Arsenal will not win the title. That's number one. And we shall look back to this summer. Because we have just literally gone and copied, I don't know which kind of script we have copied, and we copied the wrong name and put it on our script. It has been absolutely poor. So when the manager says we are short, and it is 7 days? It is 5 days to the end of the window. What are you expecting us to do with that information? What are you expecting us to... Are you literally saying that... is it literally saying that we should be worried? Is it trying to inform us that this season is going to be hard? We don't even have the required number of players. If we sold Emil Smith Rowe, if we sell Eddie Nketiah, if Gabriel Jesus and Partey pick up injuries this season, all that should be covered for, because that is what you plan for as you go into the summer. Which players cannot be trusted? Which players are never available? You bring in cover for them. So we are short. Thank you for realizing that. Can you do something about it? We need 23 outfield players. We don't have that. Can we do something about it? Apart from that, I don't even have any kind words for what Mikel is actually saying. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Check out KiwiBet Uganda online. What they do is they are giving you the best Premier League odds this season. And I'm not talking about best like in best. I'm talking about bigger odds. You're going to have much better odds on games as compared to other bookmakers. It's a promotion going on this season. You can win some money and bet responsibly. That is one thing I want to tell you. Bet responsibly, bet what you can lose, and your mental health really matters. See you right in the next one.